Begin by laying on your back, your hips relaxed into the floor, your arms rolled open, palms to the sky, your feet about your yoga mat's distance apart, just touching the outsides of the yoga mat. Your knees fall gently together. Lift and lengthen your low back as you lay here. Now your low back should have a gentle curve and not be pressed into the ground. Allow it a little bit of space between your back and the floor. As you inhale and expand through your back, you'll feel it touch the floor a little more completely. And as you exhale, the sides contract gently. No effort whatsoever. Just gently expanding through the low back and the tummy, breathing naturally. Slowly start to wiggle your knees back and forth. Going first towards the left and then towards the right. Gently wiggling from side to side. As you feel your knees go towards one side, it might feel a little more intense in your low back on one side than the other. Today we're going to deal with discomfort, but not pain. Find that level of discomfort and just walk up to the line, breathe into it, and release out of it. Slowly letting the low back peel up off the ground as your hips drop from one side to the other. Go deeper and deeper, closer and closer towards the floor. Eventually looking to rest the outside knee on the floor. If your knee does not come to the floor, you can always put a towel, a pillow, bolster, or yoga block under that knee so that it can rest, and therefore your mind can rest. Letting the knees fall to one side, remain here, and take deep breaths, stretching through the sacrum. If you'd like to deepen the stretch, take the outside foot ankle and put overpressure on top of the knee that's still floating in space. This will deepen the stretch, pulling the knees down towards the ground deeper, and will intensify a stretch in the sacrum. If this is too much, let the knee go. Just let your knees fall off to the side, both feet on the ground. But if this feels good to you and you enjoy the deeper stretch, stay here for a breath or two. And release the foot off the knee. Release the knees back to center and wiggle back and forth a couple of times before falling to the opposite side, the outside ankle crossing over the inside knee, to provide a little overpressure if that's what you desire. If this creates too much strain in your back or allows your hips to come off way up off the ground, then just let both feet drop to the floor. Take a couple of nice deep breaths here in order to let that sacrum open and release on this side. Release the foot off of the knee and bring the knees back to center, wiggling back and forth gently, allowing the hips to reset. Lift the hips and lengthen out the low back. Now that your sacrum has been moved, your low back will feel longer. Gently bring your right knee up into your chest, wrapping your hands around your knee, pulling the knee in towards your chest. If you cannot reach the front of your chin, interlace your fingers behind your thigh, or use a towel to pull the knee in towards the chest. Squeezing the knee in towards the chest, you might feel a little bit of a pinch on that right side. A small pinch is all right. This is a compression stretch of the hip flexors. The pinch will ease up, but again, you want to come up to the area of discomfort without causing lingering pain. This is a nice hip flexor stretch. This pose is held for 2 minutes on this side. Keep taking nice deep breaths through your back, through your sides, and through your tummy. You can increase the amount of pressure you bring on your knee by pulling your knee in closer towards your chest as it starts to loosen up. Toes are flexed up towards your knees. Nice deep breaths. Another 45 seconds. Keep breathing. Keep thinking about your breath. It's very tempting to think about other things that are not happening on your yoga mat during these moments. Let that temptation slip away and remain present on your mat. Release the leg down to the ground, wiggling both legs out, giving your body a chance to reset. Now bring your left knee up into your chest, flexing both feet, squeezing the left knee in towards the chest, pulling deeply through that leg to encourage a nice strong compression in the front of the left hip. Again, if you feel a pinch, just do what you can do that's a little uncomfortable but not painful. Nice deep breaths through the side. And the back. And the front. Keep breathing and relaxing. As the pressure lessens, pull the knee in deeper. Remain here for another 45 seconds. Long compression stretches on the hip flexors create a deep, lasting effect in the low back. The hip flexors tend to cause extra extension in the low back, encouraging the spine to curve forward. Once we stretch these muscles, your back can relax. Take a little time off. 15 seconds. Continue breathing and relaxing. Release the leg to the floor. Again, shaking out both legs and allowing them to release and reset the sacrum. Then, bring both knees to the chest at the same time. Squeezing both knees in towards the chest. Your hands can grip the fronts of your shins, or you can grip your opposite wrists. You can grip behind the knees, on the backs of the thighs, or you can use a towel or a strap to bring your knees closer in towards your chest. Flex the feet. Helps to engage the body. A little side to side wiggle to open up the sacrum here is perfectly fine. Again, we're looking for that slight discomfort in the front of the hips. If it's there, just slight discomfort, no pain. If there's pain, then release. Squeezing the knees in towards the chest, compressing the hip flexors, lengthening out the low back. It's a little difficult to breathe here with your knees really in tight towards your chest. If you feel claustrophobic, remember you can breathe through your low back, your sides, and your chest. And if you find you'd like to move a little deeper, release the knees on your inhale to expand your belly. And then exhale, pull the knees in deeper as you make space in your rib cage. Release and breathe in. Exhale and squeeze. 10 more seconds. Now with feet both on the floor, lift your hips up and lengthen out through your low back once again. As you stretch your hip flexors, your low back tension will change and the length of your torso will change. Now bring your left ankle to the outside of your right knee. Pull your right knee in towards your chest, gripping either behind the right knee, on the right shin, or using a towel. Flex both the feet. Bringing this knee in towards your chest, you should feel a deep stretch through the left glute. And ideally, we're looking to get that front shin parallel to the front of your mat, or perpendicular to your chest. As you can see, this is a difficult stretch for me. If this is also difficult for you, I encourage you to put a strap behind that knee so that you can relax your chest and your arms down to the ground while maintaining the pressure needed to pull that knee towards your chest. This stretch is stretching the piriformis muscle, which can often cause symptoms in the sciatic nerve. If you're feeling any tingling down the leg and this is too much for you, release the leg a little bit, take a breath, and come back to it. Again, we are trying to encourage a little discomfort, which causes the stretch, but not pain. Take another deep breath here. Release the foot down to the ground and switch sides. Bring the right foot to the top of the left knee. This is my more difficult side. Using the modification of a strap or some other object to help me bring that knee in towards my chest is helpful. Again, you're looking to get that right knee a little further away from the body. A small bit of overpressure might be desired, but in general, don't worry so much about it. If you're feeling the stretch through your right butt cheek, you're in the right place. This stretch may be quite deep for you. There are other positions in the hip stretching protocol that will also help with this particular stretch. Take one more deep breath here. And release the legs to the ground. Wiggle the hips from side to side, resetting the sacrum and allowing the body to lengthen out through the low back one more time. Now, coming up to a seated position from your back with low back pain can be tricky. So very gently allow your entire body to fall to one side. Push yourself up with your hands and then come to a seated position. Come to your hands and knees in the middle of your mat. Flatten the tops of your feet on the floor and push your hips back over your ankles, coming into child's pose. Your arms will lengthen out in front of you. Your fingers spread wide. You can do this position with the knees together or the knees separate. It's very nice to do this pose with the knees separate when you have a bit of a belly in the way or you're pregnant. It also widens the stretch within the sacrum. Reach the arms forward and drop your head between your elbows. Wiggle the hips a little bit from side to side to deepen the stretch in the sacrum. As you reach your arms forward, you'll be stretching through the lats, which also attach into the low back. Inch those fingers forward and really stretch. If your head is close to the ground, but not very close to the ground, you can put an object underneath your forehead to help release your neck. A yoga block, a towel, a pillow, all of these things will work very nicely to allow you to deepen the stretch in your back without having to hold your head up. As you breathe, feel the expansion through the sides of your body, your back, and your tummy, especially allowing your breathing to expand through any tender spots in your back or your low ribs. Slowly walk your hands over to the right side of your mat, stretching deeply through the left side of your body. Reaching the left arm across, you can put some overpressure from your right hand on top of your left to keep it from slipping backwards. Take 3 nice deep breaths through all those left-sided ribs, expanding everything from your shoulder to your low ribs to your low back. Resist the urge to crunch down your body on the right side. Both sides should be lengthening, but more lengthening on the left. Don't compress the right to make the left go longer. This can cause a little spasm. Returning back to center, reach the arms out in front of you in a regular child's pose, taking a breath, feeling the expansion through both sides of your low back evenly. Slowly walk your hands over to the left side of your mat, expanding deeply through the right side of your body, reaching the right hand as far over as you can without causing compression in the left side. Expand and breathe through the right-sided ribs, using your left hand to pin that right hand down on the floor and using your breath to expand and stretch through the right rib cage and the right low back. One more deep breath here. Slowly bring your hands to center and then walk your hands back towards your knees, coming into a quadruped position. Your wrists will align underneath your shoulders. Your knees will align underneath your hips. Your feet can be either flat on the floor or you can curl your toes underneath your body. Whatever helps you feel more stable as we move here. This position can also be done on the forearms if you feel discomfort in your wrists. I also encourage you to check out the wrist stretching protocol. Take a nice deep breath in, inhale, lift the nose up towards the sky and drop the belly down towards the floor. Exhale, tuck the chin under, push the back up towards the sky, fully expanding through those shoulder blades. Inhale, lift the nose, roll the shoulders back and drop the belly. Exhale, curl the head underneath the body, curl the hips under and push the back up towards the ceiling. Inhale, bring the nose up, arch the back, roll the shoulders back. Exhale, drop the head, roll the shoulders forward, push the back. Continue doing this over and over again, slowly and with the breath. Feel each individual vertebra move as you do this, taking time also to tilt the hips, to curl the hips under, to push the hips down, to use almost the entire body and definitely the entirety of your spine to create this movement. Continuing with the breath. Using the breath to lead you. Slow and steady. Finish your last cycle and come back to a neutral spine, giving the body a quick chance to stretch side to side. Wiggle to the left and wiggle to the right. Now, in any way you feel comfortable doing, bring your feet to your mat, coming to stand in a forward folded position. Most people will not immediately bring their hands to the floor. Even if you do, if this causes discomfort in your back or such great discomfort in the backs of your legs, bend your knees a little bit, allowing your knees to be always gently bent. Never hyperextend the knees backwards. That's not going to help. Put your hands on a block, the floor, or even a chair or a stool in order to give yourself the space that you need in order to do this stretch without causing deep pain. As you stand here with your knees gently bent and your hands resting comfortably, release the back of your neck, letting your head drop towards the floor. You may have to constantly remind yourself to do this, to release by wiggling left and right, shaking your head no, shaking your head yes, side to side movement. You can also bend and flex your knees gently. All of these movements are helping to loosen up your spine. Continue to do slow, small movements here. All of these movements are helping loosen up tension within the spinal cord and within the spinal column and all the way down the backs of the legs through the sciatic nerve. As you drop your head and as you straighten your legs, these will cause more tension through your back. If you're not ready for that kind of tension, you will feel an intense pull. If you would like to release this tension, bend your knees a little deeper, raise your head a tiny bit, or bring your hands up a little higher up off the ground. Breathing and waiting and taking your time is a wonderful way to slowly release this tension within your back. It will help release all sorts of other things, including pain in your head, headaches, pain in the mid-back, pain in the low back, pain in the hips, pain in the backs of the legs. Take your time, breathe, and release. Anytime this feels like too much, bring your head up a little bit, bend your knees a little bit, bring your hands up a little bit. Take your time. A little bit of movement here, bending the knees, wiggling the upper back, shaking the head, will all decrease the sensitivity of the pain. Movement blocks pain. Bring your hands to the fronts of your shins, and very slowly bring your hands up your shins and inhale your head up to look up. Exhale, bring your hands back down to the floor. Inhale, let your hands glide up your shins, look up. Exhale, drop your head down to the floor. Release the back of the neck. Inhale the hands up the shins, look up. Engage the tummy just a little bit as you do this. Exhale, drop the head, drop the hands down to the floor. We are slowly releasing and then increasing the pressure in our backs to gain more stretch. Inhale, hands glide up the shins to look up. Exhale, drop the hands down to the ground. This time, when we inhale, we're going to bring the arms out to a T, and inhale, come all the way up to stand. Hands touch above the head. Exhale, the hands down and around to the heart center. Inhale, the hands all the way up, palms touch, look up. Exhale, forward fold, arms all the way out, all the way down to the ground, palms to the floor. Hands up the shins, inhale, look up. Exhale, drop the hands down to the ground. Inhale, arms out like a T. Inhale, all the way up, palms to touch. Exhale, hands down and around to the heart center. Inhale the arms all the way up, palms touch. Exhale, forward fold all the way down to the ground. Drop the head. Inhale, the hands glide up the shins, look up, engage the tummy. Exhale, look down to the floor, drop the arms. Inhale the arms all the way out to a T. Inhale up, palms touch. Exhale, hands down and around to the heart center. Inhale the arms all the way up, palms touch. Exhale, forward fold all the way down to the ground, palms to the floor. Inhale, hands up the shins, look up. Exhale, forward fold. Take a moment to relax here, releasing the head. Feel free to bend and flex the knees a little bit in order to feel the new position of your back, the new deep stretch you've achieved, how much closer your hands might be to the floor or how much closer your head may be to your knees. If you'd like to continue doing more of these little sun salutations to gain more ground and help decrease the intensity of that stretch throughout your back, I recommend doing some more if you need it. If this is the end of your yoga practice for today, I highly recommend you lay down on your back and take 5 minutes in Shavasana. Coming to sit on your mat, very gently let your legs fall out, your arms fall open, palms to the sky. Deep breaths through your body. Relax here with no conscious intent, except for the intention to keep your mind focused on what you're doing. Don't allow this time to become a time where the brain starts thinking about everything else you're going to do today. Continue to focus on your breath, counting the seconds of your inhale, pausing at the top, counting the seconds of your exhale, and pausing at the bottom. If counting your breath makes you anxious or nervous, focus on a color, a swath of single colored fabric, maybe gently moving in the breeze. something that keeps you peaceful, but focused on the present moment. I hope you have enjoyed this low back asana practice. If this is the end of your yoga practice for the day, be sure to sit up slowly when you're done, and have a wonderful day.